Good morning, Namaskar. I am Dr. Hariom, retired principal scientist, CCS, Haryana Agricultural University, Hisar. Today, we will discuss about the successful adoption of natural farming. What are the points which should be considered in the mind for getting success in natural farming? As we know that natural farming is the farming of microbes. When microorganisms increase in the soil, simultaneously the population of earthworms also increases. And when the population of both of these increases, there are miraculous effect on the soil fertility, soil health in terms of physical health, chemical health, and biological health. So when we maintain and give the different package of natural farming as well as the different formulations which are used in natural farming, their population increases and the organic carbon as well as humus content of the field increases quickly, and its result is observed on the growth and productivity of the crop. So first and the important point is zero tillage or the minimum tillage. This principle of natural farming was given by Masanobu Fukuoka. He was a philosopher, he was a farmer as well as scientist of Japan, and he gave the definition of natural farming as no-till farming or do-nothing farming. So in this, what happens that why we are advocating zero or minimum tillage? When we do tillage or excessive tillage, particularly during the hot summer months, the organic carbon of the soil is lost. When there is a temperature above 35 degrees Celsius of the air, then about 45% of the organic carbon it escapes in the air and causes global warming. So minimum tillage or zero tillage, the first one of the most important components. The second is mulching. Mulching is also most important component of natural farming. Mulching helps the crop as well as for the preservation of microbes as well as for enhancing the organic carbon or fertility of the soil in many ways. Besides this, mulching helps in saving of the water and weed control also another aspect which is obtained by the mulching. So three types of mulching can be used in natural farming. The first is residue mulching. It is one of the best mulching which can be adopted in natural farming, because the mulching which we are using as the residue or the weeds plants, dry weed plants, they after decay provides food to the microbes as well as the microorganisms. The second type of mulching is live mulching. In live mulching, we grow a crop which covers the soil surface and saves the surface of the soil from the heat or the radiation of the air or the high temperature, and in this way the organic carbon is also protected and the activity of microbes and earthworms and a micro environment near the roots or rhizosphere is properly developed, which helps the soil as well as soil health as well as plant health. So the third point is plastic mulching. Plastic mulching, we are doing experiment here in Gurukul Kurukshetra under the guidance and inspiration of Honorable Governor Gujarat Acharya Devarji. So what is happening here, the why we have selected this plastic mulching? We have made combinations of natural farming, plastic culture and drip irrigation, micro irrigation. So why there came a need for adopting the plastic mulching? We know that the residue and live mulching is not available in many parts of the country, particularly India. And what happens there, about 55% area of India is rain fed, and most of the area like the states of Rajasthan, Kutch, Bhuj area of Gujarat, and many parts where soil is also light textured and water is not available, and most of the area is rain fed. So they say that we have not the availability of residues as a feed for the animals even, so it is not possible for us to provide residue or live mulching for the natural farming. So we, by seeing the many problems like weed control is one of the important problem which should be addressed in natural farming or organic farming. So weed control, and by seeing the type of the soil, light textured soils, and plowing aspect, we wanted to avoid the plowing of the soil, because plowing destroys or damages the organic carbon content of the soil. So in plastic mulching we are doing the experiment, and we have taken 25 microplastic mulch here, and we have transplanted third crop on the same mulch, and we shall plant fourth crop also in the month of February, March. So in this way we are thinking that without plowing the field, without incurring any cost on the weeds, whether we can use the same mulch for multi crops or multi season. So we are getting success in it, and we are getting very good encouraging results in it. So plastic mulching may be combined, may also be combined. There is a need to combine by keeping in view the various problems which are prevailing presently. So third point is residue management or green manuring. This is the aspect that in, as I have told, that residues are should be preferred to keep on the or to retain those on the surface, whereas in India, in northwestern states of the country, this region is known as grain bowl of the country. So in this, the dominating the cropping system is the rice wheat cropping system. So in this we can use the residue management, which is the most important problem, because residue burning causes air pollution also. So after harvesting wheat crop, we have to plant the rice crop. So after harvesting the wheat crop, we collect the residues through the reaper, and after collecting reaper without plowing the field, we sow green manuring crop like dhencha, sun hemp, or green gram or black gram. So without plowing, we can sow these green manuring crops. These two crops, the residues, the leftover residues of the wheat crop, as well as green manuring of dhencha or moong or urad, green gram, black gram. These provide the food to the microbes as well as to the crop, which is next crop, rice, which will be transplanted. So there is in what happens in cereal residues like rice and wheat, the CN ratio is wide. So next crop doesn't get the nutrition immediately, and there are chances of yellowing of the next crop. But when we combine it with the green manuring, the availability of nutrients becomes immediately, and the next crop does not starve due to the deficiency of the nutrients, and the immediately release of the nitrogen as well as nutrients to the crop as well as microbes is obtained in that aspect. The fourth point is use of bioformulations or concoctions or natural inputs which we prepare or recommend for the natural farming. For example, Bijamrit, Jivamrit, Ghan Jivamrit, Nimastra, etc., which are used for the control of pests and diseases as well as for increasing the population of microbes and earthworms in the soil. So Bijamrit is for the seed treatment. Jivamrit is a culture of microbes which is prepared in a plastic drum of 200 liters. One day, native cow dung and cow urine, about 8 to 10 kg or 8 to 10 liter urine is taken one day, cow dung and urine. In this 1.5 kg pulse flour, 1.5 kg jaggery, and a handful of virgin soil, 50 to 100 grams of soil, which is taken from a place for the aerobic culture, aerobic microbes culture. It is taken from a place where for the previous many years we have not used any chemical input, or it can be taken from below a banyan tree or ficus tree where there is superfluous or exuberance of microbes in that soil. We take 50 to 100 grams of it, and we combine all these three, that is 8 to 10 kg cow dung, cow urine, 1.5 kg pulse flour, jaggery, and 50 to 100 gram of virgin soil for the culture of aerobes is taken in that drum, and this drum is filled with the water. And in this way, I want to tell you that native cow dung and cow urine is preferred in it, although there is need to conduct experiments on other breeds of the animals also. So in 3 to 4 days, it is ready for the application in the field. It is mainly applied with the irrigation water. It can also be sprayed. It can also be applied through the drip or sprinkler irrigation. So these are the bioformulations which are used for as biostimulants for the multiplication of microbes and earthworms. So, and the fifth point is WAPSA. In WAPSA, we avoid flooding of the fields, because in flooding all the pores are filled with water, and there is a problem of respiration for the plant roots and plant growth. So WAPSA, what does it mean? We can emulate it with the field capacity condition. What happens in field capacity when we irrigate the field? The excess water, it infiltrates by the influence of, by the effect of gravitational power. And when the micropores are filled with air and micropores are filled with water, it is like VAPSA and best condition for providing air and water and moisture, air and moisture in suitable proportion to the plant roots. So it is the VAPSA. The sixth point is drip or sprinkler irrigation in combination with Jivamrit. So yeah, I have also explained this point earlier also when I explained the plastic importance of plastic mulching. So in drip irrigation, what happens? We apply Jivamrit. Jivamrit keep the soil, upper surface of the soil pulverized. So the upper surface of the soil does not become hard. If we don't use Jivamrit in the drip irrigation, the soil or the upper surface of the soil, it becomes hard and it becomes difficult for us to take 2, 3 or 4 crops, multi-crops or the for multi-season crops. So this option is also open in front of us, and this needs to be explored through the research studies. So through the drip irrigation or supplementation, we use Jivamrit, which keeps the soil pulverized, and there may be no need of plowing or tillage of the field, and we can take 3 to 4 crops on the same mulching. And as well as for multi-seasons, we can explore the possibilities of it. The next point is biodiversity. Biodiversity means maintaining the maximum number of crops on the soil surface. The many or 3 or 4 types, for example, 3 or 4 types crops on the soil surface, if we maintain, there will be diversity of microbes in the soil also. So the best model for this might be intercrop. If we take intercrop, that is 3 to 4 crops or 2 to 3 crops we take on the soil surface, these will also help as a barrier for the transportation of disease and pests, as well as these will also help in the multiplication of microbes of different communities within the soil. The second is the best model of biodiversity in natural farming is a multi-layer farming. It is multi-storied farming. As a multi-story building is there, the different heights of crops are taken in it. For example, below the soil surface, we can take turmeric and some adrak type. These crops we can take below the surface of the soil, and on the surface of the soil we can sow the coriander and chenopodium like bathu and some of the crops which can cover the soil surface and also controls the weeds from germination and growth. So in multi-layer farming, these are the 2 layers, one below the soil surface, one upper the soil surface, which covers the soil surface and controls the weed effectively, and 1 to 2 crops may be taken in the air on the stacks or the bamboos which are managed there, and one of the crop may be taken at the roof of the multi-stories. Like net like structure may be established where a crop on the top on the roof may be taken which have smaller leaves, so that a infiltration of light may come on the surface, and on the surface there are crops which loves lesser light conditions like coriander and turmeric, etc. So the second is multi-layer farming, and third, the model for biodiversity might be forest or jungle model. So this is adopted in the areas where there are very less vegetation, like dry areas or light textured areas like in Rajasthan we can say, or Kutch Bhuj areas of Gujarat we can say, or rain-fed areas where we can say. So in jungle or forest model, native vegetation is nourished. Which vegetation better grows in that area that is taken? When this vegetation grows on that area, the leaves and the parts of the plants, they shed on the ground, they decompose, and the humus content, organic carbon content of the soil will be increased. And for example, if these are the lighter soils, the humus content will be increased, and the water retention capacity, water holding capacity of these soils might be increased, and the erosion of soil particles through air or water will be reduced. And in this way, when the fertility of these soils below the native vegetation grows, we can take 2 to 3 crops without irrigation, only on the rainy water. On the rainy water we can take different crops. So there will be development of the soil health, as well as there will be amendment of these soils through this method. So in biodiversity there are 3 options: intercrop, multi-layer farming, forest or jungle model. The eighth point is water harvesting. It is one of the most important point which can work throughout the world, because some of the farmers, they are coming for training to us at the Gurukul Kurukshetra from the Mendargarh district, Rewari district, or the Sirsa districts, which are dry areas. The soils are sandy and the underground water is brackish water. They say that it is difficult for us. We have nor the residues or the organic, the natural farming is difficult to maintain for us. So in this way, as I explained, that a drip irrigation, use of plastic culture, and with the combined use of Jivamrit can also be used. And in this, what happens if there are salts in the soil, rainfall is less, there can be water harvesting in those areas. And when water will be harvested, this water can be used through drip irrigation in combination or in conjunction with the Jivamrit. So in this way, whatsoever the problems, either the salts are there, light soils are there, rain-fed conditions are there, irrigated conditions are there, or hilly areas are there, coastal areas are there, microbes are everywhere. And where there are microbes, earthworms are there, and when there are microbes anywhere, natural farming can be possible at that place. So these are the 8 points which should be stressed and which should be maintained, kept in mind for the success of the natural farming. So in this way we can forward, and this is the model of 8 points which I have given. I have told that it can be adopted according to the area specific or location specific or throughout the world. Namaskar.